Good morning. My name is Chris Adam with You Pleasure Employers, and I'm delighted to be joined by Eloise from Sell Beyond. Hello there, Eloise.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yes, not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for giving up your time to speak to me. And I guess my sort of first question has to be, can you tell me about Sell Beyond and what it is you do?
Lots of us love buying stuff online, and many of us buy from Amazon. We help companies sell their stuff on Amazon in the UK, USA, and in France, Germany, Spain, and Italy.
That's amazing. So in what different ways do you help those companies, let's say, get their products on there?
If you think of when we're browsing online, we're scrolling, why do we stop scrolling? We stop scrolling when something piques our interest, but why is it? Is it because there's a good photo? Did we see a video that was awesome? Was the price really interesting? Was there a ton of user reviews or stars? All of those things that we do automatically when we're scrolling, we have to help companies think about how they can get their products in front of people. So we basically help companies figure out how to people stop scrolling and buy their stuff.
And what kind of roles and people do you have within your organization to help facilitate, as I say, the different ways that our sort of attention can be captivated?
I think it takes lots of different people to make a team. So I've got people who love designer clothes, who are always buying the latest stuff. They know all about gadgets and they're really into trends. So we need those people. Those type of people can be very creative, lots of good ideas. They know what's going on, their finger on the pulse. I've also got people who never buy anything, never go out the house, and are really quite nerdy, but they really like the detail. They love building things properly. They love things like Excel and numbers and getting stuff right. And those people we need as well. And then I've also got people who are quite good at getting stuff done and quite good at helping people. So they don't necessarily know the latest trends. They don't really know much about building stuff, but they're really good at listening, understanding what people want and trying to help them in the best way.
And what kind of actual job roles and titles are those various people sort of filling? If you mean, so what kind of roles go into sort of the business on a daily basis?
The types of roles we might have is marketing manager. We might have an account manager. An account manager means that the businesses that are already buying with you be happy and successful and trying to solve their problems. I've got pay-per-click advertising executive. They're the people that will run the ads that you see that get in the way if you're scrolling. I've got a photographer, graphic designer, and I have a French speaker that does French translation.
Amazing. And one thing that I think is common amongst those roles, based on what you said there, is because this is something that's always changing, if you see what I mean. There's always new products coming out, new ways to have our attentions or captured. I guess there has to be quite a lot of adaptability working in sort of the sector in an organisation such as yours.
Do you know what I think? As a person, when you go for a job, you have to be adaptable anyway. You go and work in a restaurant, you might be mopping the floors and you might be serving drinks and you might be taking tips. So any job, you have to be a bit adaptable and not have to be nagged. And it's no different at Sell Beyond.
And what was your sort of pathway into Sell Beyond? What was your journey?
I made loads of mistakes and then found something I like doing. I'd made lots of choices because I thought I should do it. I thought I should go to university and do something really academic. And then I thought that I should then go into a certain type of job because that's what people did. But all along the side, I had side hustles or side gigs that I did that I really enjoyed. And at one point, I was like, do you know what? The side gig should become the main one because that's what I like more.
And if we look at then that transition from going, as you say, from something you loved to something that's then your day job and something that is, let's say, your main source of income, what kind of new skills and things did you have to learn, as you say, going from sort of side gig to main gig?
The ability to take a risk and go with what your gut says, because so often in life we can think we've got certain expectations that our parents put on us or that the school puts on us, or that people in our life are saying we should do one thing or the other. And sometimes in your gut what you really should be doing, but you've got to have the appetite to take the risk and be prepared to fail if it doesn't work. And especially if you're doing something as a side hustle, you're doing something evenings and weekends, you've already proved to yourself that it works. So then that might be a time to think, well, should I just take the risk and try this as a main thing?
And alongside that, like, were there skills and areas that you had to learn where maybe, as say, you didn't have them before, in terms of, like, did you know how to do the accounting for a business? Did you know how to, as I say, market effectively? Obviously, marketing.
Yeah, to be honest, but being a business owner at any age, there's a ton of stuff that no one teaches you at school or in college. So yeah, I didn't know anything about accounting and bookkeeping, and that means keeping a tabs on what you're spending and what you're earning as a business. And the first year I had to pay a ton of money to an accountant to sort it all out, because I just like signed up to an accounting software and was like twanking around with it. No, it had to be done really properly, and I ended up paying someone a ton of money to fix it. It took them like 40 hours. So yeah, I had to learn a lot of stuff from scratch, but the things I already knew and was good at was I was good at talking to people. I'd already sold on Amazon as a side gig, so I kind of knew about that. And I was good at writing because I'd been to university and done a lot of academic stuff to do with writing, and so I had some stuff, I just reused it. But a lot of stuff when you run a business, everyone finds it hard, and there's loads of new skills to learn.
And on those sort of hard things, like, as a business owner, what do your challenging days look like, and what do your good days look like?
They're normally the same day. It's more like you're on a roller coaster because you're driving the roller coaster, if that makes sense. As a business owner, you get to call the shots. Whether you're selling like a couple of things a week on Vinted, or you're a big company running millions of pounds worth of sales on Amazon, you get to choose. It's a business owner, you get to choose what you do, when you do it, how many hours it's going to take you, when you stop working. And so if you're really excited and driven by a project, that can sometimes mean you probably work more than you should. And when you have a bad day, it's probably all your fault because you're the owner of the business. So it's a bit like an emotional roller coaster, but what people value for it is they don't have to answer to anyone. They get to call the shots. So business owners tend typically to enjoy a bit of autonomy and don't like answering to people. But that can mean you're the author of your own misfortune sometimes. But then you're the one that wins as well, so that's the good side.
Yeah. And you spoke earlier a bit about how, like, you need to be willing to embrace risk if you're going to be, your own business owner, and and go on that journey. How do I put it? There are lots of people out there now who are probably more, I say, interested in going into business themselves than ever before. What other things do you think they could be doing to maybe sort of give themselves an advantage when they do decide to go ahead and do things for themselves? So that, as I say, that they have the edge in the competition when they get there.
One of them is trying it yourself in a really low level, whether it's doing the thing that you want to do, but just getting on and doing it, creating an online business. Another thing that works well for people that I know is going and talking to people that have done it. So that people love to talk about themselves. And when I was thinking about changing career at some point in the past, I just messaged people on LinkedIn and asked would they have 20 minutes to speak with me, because I'd like to learn from them. People love talking about themselves. So another thing you can do is go stalk people online. No, I don't really mean that. I mean, go and look for people in your network that you might know. Ask people, do you know anyone who does this? Go and find people on LinkedIn, which is a public place that everyone can look what people are doing, because you can set your own profile up. And I know a lot of people that got help, including myself, by just politely asking and paying for the coffee, or sending people a thank you note afterwards. Because people, when you've done such a hard thing in major business work, it was painful, and you want to share some of the triumphs with people. So that would be another thing to do.
That's really insightful and really good advice to any young people watching this video, so thank you. And you've touched on some of the soft skills that someone might need to go into business for themselves. Like, as you say, like, based on what you just said there, communication must be a big one. Being willing to, as I say, whether it's to ask for people for advice or whether you're communicating with your clients. I guess there's a degree of resilience involved as well, maybe when you're first studying the business. What kind of other soft skills and personality traits have you sort of found have been really useful in your journey?
I think that I always hire people that for how they are, not necessarily their hard skills, their technical skills. So you've just got to make sure you're looking for the right job in a way, because some people that I hire need to be really detail oriented. They need to like finishing what they start and loving like dotting the I's and crossing the T's. They'll be like that anyway. You might be like that in the way you plan your holiday, or you might be like that in the way you plan a night out. Well, we'll start here, we'll go there, the other option's there, and you've already got it. So if you're like that anyway, you'll be good at a job that needs that. And similarly, if you're kind of scattered and all over the place, but you're really good at talking to people, that might suit you in another job. So part of it is being really sure, and it's something we learn more and more. What do I like doing? What am I really good at? What do my friends say I'm good at? Where do I have to make no effort and I'm still quite good at it? And using that as the basis for then learning to do something, because the hard skills can be learnt, but the soft skills, some of us have innate awesomeness in some area, and we just have to learn what it is and play on it.
I completely agree with the point you made there, Tom. From my own experiences, it took me various jobs to go through before I actually came back to the point you've just made there and be like, actually, what am I good at? What do I like doing? What can I make the core foundation of any job I do? Where, as you say, at the root of it, okay, I know I've got a good skill set where I'm going to be naturally pretty good at this, so let's try and find a job that fills in the blanks, if you see what I mean.
That's right. I think that we underestimate that we're all pretty awesome at something. We've all got secret skills, and play on those, and you'll be happy if you do things that you like doing anyway.
That's a fantastic piece of advice, and actually leads me quite well to my final question. And I've asked this to all the employers I've done these employee talks with, which is if you could go back and speak to, say, a 17, 18-year-old version of yourself, sort of just about going out on your career journey again, taking into account sort of mistakes you maybe made and learned from, successes you've had, what's the one piece of career advice you would go back and give your younger self?
That's a really great question. I think I would probably say don't be so worried about proving yourself. I used to try and prove that I was really good at this, and actually if you do a good job, you'll prove it anyway. So maybe I had a bit of an attitude that I'll show you that I'm really good, but dialing down the angst on proving yourself and just trying to be awesome at what you do, there's a bit of a difference, and it makes it easier to work with if you're not worried about proving yourself all the time.